Alright, welcome to the ass crack of dawn. It's just after 6 in the morning. I'm gonna sneak down here early so that I can get some stuff in before the kids wake up. But just gonna make a video of try to make a video of my conveyor conversion. I might just put these pieces up on my Cults 3D page, which is Poseidon.pps. I'll maybe able to put a link in on the video when it's done. Anyways, last night I went ahead and modded one of these guys for continuous rotation. So I just go in, open them up. There's no stopper to pull out of this, so I just literally detach the wires, cut these guys off, positive and negative onto it, hook the battery up, and it's going. So I'm just going to use one of these 4 armed servo horns, and it doesn't line up quite right with my little adapter because I made this for a different one. I drilled a little hole too just to recess the screw that's in the center because it sits a little proud. So I have to take my drill bit and just elongate the holes a little bit just to line them up with this. And then, so basically what I'm going to do is modify the servo, put the screw on the horn that locks that in, line these guys up, and then what I'm going to do is I'll screw from this side up and put some nylon knock nuts around that, and that'll lock that piece on there, and then that part's done. The other video I did, I kind of went over this, but I should go over it again. So these are the little 3D printed pieces that I made. They just slide through, and there's a little bit of filing you gotta do on these things. You can kind of see right there. These are tapered, like they kind of come down on an angle like that. So I just got to get a file. I drilled out the holes a little bit first, and then just put a file in there to straighten those pieces out. That's the only little bit of filing you gotta do. And then these pieces slide right through. You line up the holes and screw them in, and then there's that hole on the side there. And that hole there will receive the hole that's on this piece here. See the red poking through there. So there's a hole there. So that'll line up through there. The screw will that'll go through once that's in the belt. This piece will go through. You push the actual belt part out of the way and put a screw through it, and that locks that on. I'll try explaining it as I go. I just wanted to show this part because this is kind of a bit you gotta sort of explain. So I got needle nose pliers here, nylon lock nut. This is 2.5 mil long, or 2.5 mil machine screw. So you just gotta put it on like that, hold it like that, and then screw it through this way, and then it'll lock in. You're gonna have to use a certain length, and of course I don't actually know what that length is. 1 sec, I'll measure that. Okay, so yeah, I just want to show this part. So you have to use some needle nose pliers right there to hold that on. It's a 2.5 millimeter machine screw, and I just measured it. It'll be 8 mil long. So 2.5 by 8 mil is what you need for that. Just because the tolerances are pretty close on that servo, so you don't really have a lot of room for too long, and long enough obviously isn't gonna be long enough. So that's where I'm at with that right now. So I'm just gonna put these couple pieces on, screw that all together, and that'll lock that whole setup right onto that servo, and then I'll be ready to put this piece into there. And then there's another little bit of fun dickery-doo you gotta do to get that all locked together. Alright, here's the fun part. So I got that done, that's all screwed on there. This is where things get a little bit, not hard, but just gotta, it's a bit of a process. So I've got one screw on there screwed together. Again, that's 2.5 mil. That other one there, you're gonna want to just kind of put it through and just leave it in there so you got you don't have that screw thread sticking out through there. And so I'll put the machine head screw through this side once I get this in here. It's really hard to do this without, like, I need to just kind of set the camera down. I just don't have the space right now. So I'll see what I can come up with here, try and explain it better. Okay, just moved over here. So either way, you got to put that in there. So that sits in there now. Like I said before, I got the one side where the screw is just sitting in there. That'll pinch together. So I've left that other hole that's there open, and I screwed the one side down. Now what you got to do is we're going to fix the servo onto that. Alright, it's kind of a tricky thing to film, so I'm trying my best here, but basically I'll just put this hole right here on the horn. Right there, you can see the through there. So that's going to line up with the hole that's in there. That runs on the 45-degree angle. So you fit that in there like so. And I'll need some light to see what I'm doing here. So back when I got it fitted on there. Okay, so I got that on there. Can I see the red through? I said earlier on that there was some filing to do, and there is. There's a bit of filing to do there, and a bit of filing on the other side, just to take that chamfer out of the mold. The other thing I should mention too is there's a little bit of filing to do, a little bit of drilling to do inside this piece. So this piece that I made, this adapter, it won't sit in line with that hole unless you trim a little bit of stuff out of there. So you just gotta put your drill bit in there and just drill a little bit of that out, just so that that shaft will sit full depth, and you'll be able to get that hole line up. Now what I'll do is I'll put a nice long screw through that, and I'll tighten that up. So again, I'll just show you that when I'm done, because I can't film this and try and do it at the same time. You won't see anything even if I did, but the camera roll, my arms will probably be in the way. So I'll just come back to that. So that's basically what happens. You put that piece through, put that through there, line those holes up, and then you'll put a long machine screw, again another 2.5 mil, one through that hole there to lock all that together. Okay, there we go. So I kind of got started. So I'll put that through. I won't put the servo holder on this until I'm done, just because you need to be able to move it around and get it to go through. So once that's almost all the way through, you gotta look on the other side, because you're gonna want to start putting a screw onto this bit as well pretty quick, just to be able to suck it together, and that'll tighten that up. So it's tight in there, right? You gotta, that's why you gotta use the 2 mil stuff. If you don't, it's not gonna work for you, because you can see that you know, these machine screws are touching sides there, so it's just tight tolerances to make it work, but it does work pretty straightforward. It's easy. And again too, like you know, I'm not trying to make something that's crazy strong here out of metal. It's just quick and easy conveyor belt conversion. So you know, if you don't care for the 3D printed stuff, whatever, it's cool, but this is just a quick, straightforward, easy one for getting it done. And they don't do a lot of strenuous stuff, they just rotate, so it works fine for it as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'll get that bolted up there, and I'll try and show you what it's like when that's done there. Okay, I got that piece put together now. So so you can see that there. So I have a fairly long screw that goes through the center there. That locks all that onto there. That ain't coming off. I put these ones that go here, they're in opposing directions. So you get a machine screw, and it'll go past that, sit in there, tighten that up. And then the other one, I went from the other direction and lock that one onto there. You can use whatever length you want in here. Like, obviously is, well, I shouldn't really say that. You can't really, I guess. You know, obviously you got to be long enough to get through your material thicknesses. The only thing you got to watch out for on this one here is you don't really want that screw to be sticking out past the wheel. So I'm not sure what those ones are. I can just quickly measure it. This one would probably be as long as you'd want to go. I don't think you'd want to go any longer than this guy here. So that's about just rough measurement on that. Guesstimate it's about 15 mil. It's, I don't think there's 14 mil, so I usually get 15. So that's a 15 mil screw. That's that one there that goes through. The longest you could probably go is 2.5 mil machine screw by 15 mil long. And any longer than that, you're gonna probably start sticking out. It actually might even be 16. I usually get like, sometimes I get 16 or 12, but either way, if you're around that time there, or that length, you should probably be okay. But anyways, that's how that goes. So that's the guts of it. That's how I do the conveyor. And then the next thing after that I do, once that's all fixed in place, is to mount the holder that holds all this together. So I'll show you how to do that part next. Okay, I haven't fixed it on there yet. Hope I can get this on here. I think I'm running out of time. I feel like my kids are going to be waking up soon. But anyways, it's pretty straightforward, right? I don't, like I said, this is a really basic. I didn't put a lot of effort into this. So when I made this tray, I just made it with a support that can be taken out. I put a big hole there just so that the servo horn and stuff can just fit through there if it needs to. And then that'll rest on that. And then honestly, all I did was just zap strap it. I thought I was going to make some sort of like a little mount thing on there. And I was looking at it, and all of a sudden I just looked over, I saw a bag of zap straps. I thought, you know, I'm just going to drill. So you just drill 2 holes on each side close to the servo, feed a zap strap through there, tighten it down, and it's good to go. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. I don't see any reason to go super crazy with these things. Actually, this is kind of one of the finished ones I did. It's been in service for a little bit. Works pretty good. So you can see it's got the hole on it there, different servo on there. And then I just drilled some holes through, zap strap that on, and it's fine. I've never had an issue with it. It works out pretty good. And then as far as it goes for the hardware on the bottom of that one, you can see right there, it looks like I got, I think those are 2.5s. I gotta see what I got for nylon lock nuts. I'm actually getting dangerously low on that. I've been trying to get some in this hobby store. It's close to me, doesn't seem to have them, and they're also extraordinarily expensive, like $7 or no, $5 for 4 screws, and I can go to Fastener Force and get like 50 for $7. So I gotta go restock my supplies, but I'm trying to pilfer off of some things I got and make it all work. So I'll need 2 more and I should be good on this one. Anyways, I'll drill this out, I'll mount it, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I'll plug it in, give it a test, and you can see how it operates, and that'll be that. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll mount this and get this last piece done. This part here, just I might as well show it, try and show it all. So I just lined it up. There's a bit of a line on the mold here, and the bottom of that tray basically sits kind of flush with that. And so as long as you give yourself enough room to get the zap straps through on each side, you should be fine. And all I do is just, if this works too, yeah, just take a drill, just give it a little blap blap. Oops. And another little blap blap there, just to mark it. Comes off. I got my holes marked on there, and I'll just drill those through, and that'll be that. I'm gonna see if I can get some 3 mil stuff through there. I think I can. Like I said, I'm just getting pretty low on my hardware, and I need to restock on that. So if I can put 3 mil on these, I think you can. And then, yeah, then that way you know it'll work for, that part at least will work for 3 mil. I would not try and do anything else on this with 3mm. You're just not going to have the space or the clearance, and you need to keep things tight to make this work. So yeah, let's see where we get. Okay, getting into the final little bits here. So my one nut driver here is just kind of stripped, so they're a decent one. This is just a 5mm one. You can probably just hold the back of the machine head screw with a pair of pliers or like a needle nose pliers, and then just blap it down from the front there, and that'll work fine. Mine was not like that, so I just had to use this one here, put that on there, and then turn that a bunch of times. So I need to get a new one of these. This kit's been good to me, but it's getting on. Some things are starting to wear a little bit. Anyways, so that sits on there like that. So that'll sit like that now, right? And the next thing to do will be to drill some holes like that, really tight to the side of it. Boom, boom, boom. Couple on there. I happen to have a couple of big cable ties, zap straps here, so I'll feed that through. I'll tighten that down. That'll lock that on. The only thing I don't really like about this design, to be honest with you, it's just because I'm kind of tight with the space I got, but I wish I had a little bit more length on here to just maybe put another, just to make that a little bit longer would be nice, but it does work, so that's fine. So yeah, other than that, I mean, it works, gets the job done. Like I said, that's what this whole thing is about, just a quick and easy one. So you can kind of see what it all looks like before I put the belt back around and get it all tightened up. So I just wanted to show that. Lots of hardware in there. So, but yeah, and then from underneath, it's just sitting there like that, bolted on, and that's how that goes there. There's the bottom of the servo, and yeah, so I'll drill that now, lock that on place, pop the belt around, and then the next thing I'll show you, I'll give it a test, and I'll show you running so you can see it, that it runs. And yeah, and that'll be it, because I think I can hear footsteps from up top. So it's time to be dad again. So yeah, hang tight, I'll show it. Okay, one more look at it here before I put it all back together. So I just zap strap it down. That locks that onto there like so. There's your power supply there. And next thing I'll do is I'll put this piece back on. I'll get the belt on, and then you'll see it running. So that's what it should look like before you put it all back together again.
Daddy, can I just see that there?
Yeah, hang on.
Can I just put that there?
All right, here we go. Squeaky, 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 and noisy, just like a real construction site. So there we go. One thing you should definitely do, which I found out when I plugged the battery in, was when I put the wires on the motor, I just had them backwards, so it was actually feeding this way. So I had to pop this off and just flip the motors around, so positive is actually going to negative, negative is going to positive. It's going the right direction now. So that's pretty much it. The thing works. You can see I got lots of clearances and stuff. That's why I need that space there to make everything go around. And if you look down below, you can kind of see the screw head there, so that clears that. You know, you can kind of see underneath there, right? So there's some tight tolerances to work with on these, but it does work. So that's what I do there. That's my conveyor belt there. That's how I do the conversions on them. Pretty straightforward. Then that'll sit on there as well. That's just like so. And there you go. So yeah, that's basically it. I've seen guys use some other things to like make the feed on the like this little hopper trough piece bigger and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I just get them running, and I can use them for all my gravel sorting that I want to do, because I was looking at things thinking I need to speed that process up a bit. So yeah, and that's kind of neat too, because in the future, if you want, they have two holes up there, so you can use that drum up there too for a little more tension on the belt if you want. But I find that they work just fine. I mean, I know that's pretty light, but yeah, I mean, for what I put on it, like, see if I can, you know, like that's all light stuff. It works fine. See if I got something that's a little bit heavier. There we go. That's always got a decent little. Oh, not that one. Oh God. Uh-oh. Shit. Wires. So you know they'll take some weight as well, which is nice. Doesn't seem to really affect it. So, like I said, I got two others that I got over there that are operating just fine. So there you go. I got another conveyor belt now to feed the separator machine. I'm gonna have to make some modifications to that. I want to make it a little bit higher off the ground, and then I want to get it so that I've got conveyor belts taking dirt from it and separating it, and one to feed it. So, you know, they're getting expensive. That's the only thing that kind of stinks about them now, is that they used to be pretty, like, they're always kind of a little bit pricey, but now they're getting really pricey, and they're kind of fun to have. And so I'd like to obviously even have another one, but 3 is pretty good. I should be able to do a lot with 3. Having a 4th one would just be, you know, good to have somewhere else. But I always thought it'd be kind of fun to have multiple conveyors all lined up to feed from like one distance to feed something really far away. But yeah, either way, there you go. I'm gonna probably switch this out. This is running on a 7.4 volt LiPo. I'll probably run it on like a 6 volt min battery or something like that. But yeah, it works out fine. It holds, does what it does. I've had mine all going for a while, and I never had a problem with them. So the only thing that is nice to do when you're doing them, and I don't have it on this one yet, is it is good to cover it with something, because that is where you can get bits of rock and you're dumping dirt into there. So I have couple things I put out there. I'll actually just show you, but that's the conveyor belt, and then I'll just show you what I do to cover that. It's pretty straightforward, like just to kind of help keep the dirt from getting stuck into there. Okay, so this is just the one I have that's not running right now, but I just put some lock blocks that are made around there. And you can put anything. That's just a piece of tin that I cut off of some piece of sheet metal I had, and I just put it over there, and then it just shields that inside piece where the servo horn meets the wall of the conveyor belt, and it just helps to keep material from getting caught in there. I'm gonna make another battery box. These are just a quick thing I made too, and I just hide the NIM battery that I use in there just to kind of detail it up. And yeah, and that's basically it. So one final little addition to the whole thing. So just where that screw sits there, the placement of it's close to that hitch. So if you did want to put that hitch on there, you just got to do a little bit of cutting to make that work. But then you can put the hitch on there, and if you want to tow it around or whatever, there you go. So yeah, just a little tiny cut with the saw or something. Sort that problem out, and you're good to go.